it existed in Chicago was down in a theater downtown Chicago. Actually, that really nice one that's right up on Lakeshore Drive.
Haven't been.
By the fountain? Okay. So we went, well, we'll go there. And we went there. I definitely still had my I'm invincible mechanism in play.
To be a 20 to 30-year-old male.
But I hadn't parked downtown very much. That you must know about.
Okay.
So we had a hard time finding a place that had spaces that was reasonably walking distance from the theater. When we finally did, we had to go up like 4 floors to get a spot for the car, and we're both excited to see this movie, so we're already chatting about it. And we got out of the car, and we walked over to the stairwell, and the elevator doors open, and it said, "Please take the elevator." And so we just kind of walked in, and it was a giant. It was probably as big as this way. The ceiling wasn't that high, but it was a very, very big elevator. I'd never been in an elevator that big up until then. And we got on with a couple people who were near us, and then we waited because that elevator had a timed release program. And as we're standing there waiting, more and more people are getting on. And these 3 guys got on who looked wrong. They didn't have this, like, we're going to go see a movie energy. They were very quiet. Their eyes were downcast. They were definitely checking out everybody one by one. And about the time that I was going, is there about to be a robbery here? I looked over at Pruitt to see if he had picked on it, and Pruitt was slowly moving backwards in the elevator so he could get in the corner, because he obviously thought there was going to be, and he was just getting ready to be in the best tactical position. I went, okay, he's ahead of me on this. And then I went, should I back into the corner too? And I'm just thinking to myself, and I thought, no. What he's trying to do is get in a position so he can flank them if they start making a move. So what I should do is be in a position to make them be looking at me, so he has a better chance of getting behind him, because he was physically a far superior specimen than me. So I kind of got more up toward the front. I tried to act like I wasn't aware what was going on, but I made sure I knew where all 3 of those guys were, and I was watching them intently and ready to go if they decided to try to rob people, because I knew one thing for sure: it'd be a cold day in hell before Pruitt ever gave them his wallet. So there was going to be no peaceful resolution if they decided to start robbing anybody in there. Pruitt wouldn't waste time. He would be immediately out for blood. And but they didn't do nothing. Nothing happened. And as we were walking the rest of the way to the theater, I was like, "Did you think those guys were in?" And he's like, "Absolutely. They were checking out. We checked. Then we talked and said, did those guys look hinky to you?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he said, at one point he looked at me and he said, "And you did the right thing. You got on the other side of the car from me, so one of us would have to be in their flank," which is not what I thought I was doing. But I understood. So from his point of view, I was putting myself in a position so no matter which way they jumped, one of us had an advantage. And so at the age I should have been getting over the whole heroic thing, I was almost always either with Paul or Pruitt, and that made me feel like I might still get hurt, but whoever's causing the trouble is going to get hurt too. And I think when the smoke clears, I may not be the one standing up, but it will be Paul or Pruitt. And that made me feel a lot better. I felt much safer when I was with them, because I knew that both of them, A, weren't stupid about violence, and B, were physically capable of it. Now I had other friends who I traveled with who were physically capable, but just didn't think in those terms.
Mm-hmm.
One time we were coming out of the White House, where I lived for a while, with Berry Hill, and we were all going to, I think, a movie, but it was, we were all piling out into our cars, which were parked across the street in the bank parking lot. And it's at night, probably a Friday or Saturday, and we're heading out of the White House, and we're talking about whatever this is we're about to go do. And we're crossing the street, and this car almost hit whoever was front, which wasn't me, but I don't remember who it was. But this car coming down Harlem almost hit him, but slammed on the brakes and came to a screeching halt. And then we all looked up and saw this car had almost hit somebody. And Dave started yelling at the guy in the car, going, "What the fuck are you doing? You could have hit," you know. Dave was escalating, you know what I mean? And I mean, Dave was an offensive lineman in college. He can probably do some damage, but escalating is never the tactic you want to use. And I thought his football career gave him a level of physical confidence that was out of proportion with his skill set. Because there's a difference between playing football, which certainly puts you in really good shape, and I was not in really good shape, but my athletics came primarily through martial arts. So the guy that I learned martial arts from's thing was, this class is half learning how to do martial arts and half learning what to do when you are in life and death situations. So he taught a lot of what he referred to as safety arts, you know. And so like I knew the best way to win a fight is not be in one, you know. And I ran away. That was my first tactic always. If it was an option, run away. And in fact, as Dave yelled at the guy in the car, the guy's obviously disheveled because he realized he almost hit somebody. And he's getting escalating too. And I'm like, this could get bad real easy, because there's like 6 of us in the street now, and the guy in the car. And I immediately just said, "Okay, guys, let's calm down." And I was talking to like both the guy who almost hit and Dave. None of us want to be in a fight here. You know, I basically de-escalated the situation. And long enough for everybody to go, "Is everyone okay?" "Yeah, everybody's okay." And him to go, "I'm sorry." And the de-escalated enough that we all could go on with our lives without even having to fight. But